So why are we opening it?
Well, I think you'll know once you open it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Inshallah.
Those who are under the delusion of the forces of nature bind themselves to the work of these forces. Let not the wise man, who sees the all, disturb the unwise, who sees not the all. Offer to me all thy works, and rest thy mind on the Supreme. Be free from vain hopes, selfish thoughts, and with inner peace, fight thou thy fight.
Pass it around. You gotta pass it like a joint.
Yeah.
Or you could skip even. You could just turn the page and
Yeah, they're
just find something in the lottery of juice.
Yeah. Or pick a different book too.
Maybe.
Whatever. There's a Tao Te Ching over here. I'm sure there's something over there.
Uh-oh.
The Lord Krishna said, "He who works not for an earthly reward, but does the work to be done, he is a sannyasi, he is a yogi. Not he who lights not the sacred fire or offers not the holy sacrifice. Because the sannyasi of renunciation is also the yogi of holy work, and no man can be a yogi who surrenders not his earthly will. When the sage climbs the heights of yoga, he follows the path of work. But when he reaches the heights of yoga, he is in the land of peace. And he reaches the heights of yoga when he surrenders his earthly will, when he is not bound by the work of his senses, and he is not bound by his earthly works. Arise, therefore, and with the help of thy spirit lift up thy soul. Allow not thy soul to fall, for thy soul can be thy friend, and thy soul can be thine enemy. The soul of a man is his friend, when by the Spirit he has conquered his soul. But when a man is not lord of his soul, then this becomes his own enemy. When his soul is in peace, he is in peace, and then his soul is in God. In cold or in heat, in pleasure or pain, in glory or disgrace, he is ever in him.
That was the Essene passage. It's all like about work.
Yeah.
Know that Prakriti, nature, and Purusha, spirit, are both without beginning, and that temporal changes and gunas, conditions, come all from nature. Nature is the source of all material things, the maker and the means of making, and the things made. Spirit is the source of all consciousness, which feels pleasure and feels pain. The spirit of man, when in nature, feels the ever-changing conditions of nature. When he binds himself to things ever-changing, a good or evil fate whirls him round through life in death. But the Spirit supreme in man is beyond fate. He watches, gives blessing, bears all, feels all. He is called the Lord Supreme and the Supreme Soul. So this is very much, each thing we've turned to has been very much what we've been talking about all day. You notice that too, of course, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. He who knows in truth this spirit and knows nature with its changing conditions Wherever this man may be, he is no more whirled around by fate. Some by the yoga of meditation and by the grace of the Spirit see the Spirit in themselves. Some by the work of yoga of the vision of truth, and others by the yoga of work. And yet there are others who do not know, but they hear from others and adore. They also cross beyond death because of their devotion to the words of truth. Whatever is born, Arjuna, whether it moves or it moves not, know that it comes from the union of the field and the knower of the field. He who sees the Lord of all is ever the same in all that is. Immortality in the field of mortality. He sees the truth. And when a man sees that the God in himself is the same God in all that is, he hurts not himself by hurting others, then he goes indeed to the highest path. He who sees that all work everywhere is only the work of nature, and that spirit watches this work, he sees the truth. When a man sees that the infinity of various beings is abiding in the One, and is an evolution from the One, then he has become one with Brahman. Beginningless and free from changing conditions, imperishable is the Spirit Supreme. Though he is in the body, not his is the work of the body, and he is pure from the imperfections of all work. Just as the omnipresent ether is pure because intangible, so the spirit dwelling in matter is pure from the touch of matter. And even as one sun gives light to all things in the world, so the Lord of the field gives light to all his field. Those with the eye of inner vision see the distinction between the field and the knower of the field, and see the liberation of spirit from matter. They go into the Supreme. Or should we pass around the Tao? Pass around the Laozi. Pass around the Laozi.
Keep filling your bowl, and it will spill over. Keep sharpening your knife, and it will blunt. Keep hoarding gold in your house, and you will be robbed. Keep seeking approval, and you will be chained. Great integrity leads to actualization, never overfulfillment.
When people no longer fear the power of governments, far greater empowerment appears. The great integrity, which never needs to enforce itself. Then we will never again be driven from our homes or be compelled to labor for the benefit of others. We will all work naturally to fulfill ourselves and to meet our community needs. In the great integrity, we will all love ourselves and all others, not as compensations for ego deprivations and defilements, but as natural expressions of our humanity.
When the great integrity permeated our lives, the freely galloping horses fertilized the fields. When the great integrity was lost, war horses were bred in the countryside. There is no great calamity that acquisitiveness racing out. There is no greater calamity than acquisitiveness racing out of control. Only those who know when enough is enough can ever have enough. Truth can appear as a lie. Straightness can appear as twisted. Skillfulness can appear to be clumsy. Eloquence can sound like foolishness. But the dialectic of yin and yang is not illusory. Activity can overcome cold. Tranquility can overcome heat. And peacefulness is the natural seed of a violent world. Thus, completeness can seem incomplete, yet the completeness that we achieve can be remarkable. Fullness can seem empty, yet the fullness that we achieve can be very useful. This is good stuff. We can understand the world as it is without leaving our home. We can understand the world as it might be without peering dreamily out our window. The further we go, the less we know. Wise people understand the 10,000 things without going to each one. They know them without having to look at each one. And they transform all without acting on each one. To obtain a diploma requires the storage of trivia. To obtain the great integrity requires its abandonment. The more we are released from the vested fragments of knowledge, the less we are compelled to take vested actions until all is done without doing. When the ego infers in the rhythms of process, there is so much doing, but nothing is done. What if people just wanted to watch us sit here and meditate for like an hour? Do you want to sit and watch us meditate?